If you're running AWS Network Firewall without understanding how stateful rule evaluation actually works, you're probably blocking legitimate traffic and letting threats slip through at the same time. I've seen this exact misconfiguration cost companies weeks of debugging.
Okay, that's terrifying. Welcome back to the Network Ninja Cloudcast, everyone. I'm really glad we're covering this because I set up Network Firewall last month, and honestly, I just copied rules from a blog post.
And that's exactly the problem we're solving today. We're going to break down how stateful rule evaluation actually processes your traffic and how to properly integrate IPS and IDS patterns so you're actually protected.
So what's the core issue here? I thought stateful rules were pretty straightforward. You define what to allow or block, and the firewall handles it.
Here's where people get burned. AWS Network Firewall uses Suricata under the hood, and Suricata evaluates rules in a very specific order that most people don't understand. Your rules aren't processed top to bottom like a traditional firewall. They're grouped by action type, and the default action determines what happens to traffic that doesn't match any rule.
Wait, so if I have a block rule above an allow rule, the allow rule might still trigger first?
Exactly. Suricata groups rules into pass, drop, reject, and alert categories. Within the stateful engine, pass rules are evaluated first, then drop, then reject, then alert. So if you have a pass rule that matches traffic, it will be allowed even if you have a drop rule that also matches that same traffic.
That completely changes how I need to think about this. So it's not about rule order in my console, it's about which action type I'm using.
Right. Think of it like airport security with different checkpoints. The first checkpoint is the VIP FastPass lane. That's your pass rules. If someone has VIP credentials, they skip everything else. The second checkpoint is the no-fly list, your drop rules. Third is the reject checkpoint where you tell people to go home. And finally, alert is just the security camera recording everything but not stopping anyone.
So if I accidentally create a pass rule that's too broad, my drop rules become useless for that traffic?
Exactly. And here's where it gets real. I worked with a team that had a pass rule for TCP port 443 to their application load balancer. Sounds reasonable, right? But that rule matched before their drop rules for known malicious IP ranges. They were essentially allowing any traffic on 443 regardless of source.
How do you fix that? You still need to allow legitimate HTTPS traffic.
This is where strict rule order evaluation comes in. In your firewall policy, you can set the stateful rule evaluation order to strict instead of the default action order. With strict evaluation, rules are processed based on their priority number, lowest number first, regardless of action type. You set this in the firewall policy under stateful rule group references.
So, with strict evaluation, I could have a drop rule at priority 100 for malicious IPs, and then a pass rule at priority 200 for legitimate traffic, and the drop actually happens first?
Exactly. And you need to set a default action for strict evaluation. Your options are drop all, drop established, and alert all. I recommend drop established for most production workloads. This drops packets that aren't part of an established connection, which catches a lot of scanning and probing attempts.
Okay, that makes sense for rule evaluation. But you mentioned IPS and IDS integration. How does that fit in?
AWS Network Firewall supports Suricata-compatible IPS rules, which means you can use managed rule groups from AWS or import rules from sources like emerging threats or Snort community rules. For IDS mode, you use alert actions to log suspicious traffic without blocking. For IPS mode, you use drop or reject actions to actively block threats.
What's the difference between drop and reject in practice?
Drop silently discards the packet. The sender gets no response and eventually times out. Reject sends a TCP reset or ICMP unreachable back to the sender. For security, drop is usually preferred because it doesn't confirm to attackers that a firewall exists. But reject can be useful for internal traffic where you want applications to fail fast instead of waiting for timeouts.
What about the managed rule groups? Are those actually useful or just marketing?
They're genuinely useful. AWS offers managed rule groups for things like threat signatures, malware domains, and botnet command and control servers. The domain list rule group, for example, blocks traffic to known malicious domains. You enable these in your firewall policy and they update automatically. The catch is they can generate false positives, so start with alert mode, review your logs in CloudWatch, then switch to drop once you've validated.
What's the biggest mistake you see with IPS integration?
Running IPS rules in drop mode without testing. I've seen teams block their own monitoring systems, break third-party integrations, and even block AWS service endpoints. Always deploy new rules in alert mode first. Send your logs to CloudWatch logs, create a metric filter for alerts, and review for at least a week before enabling blocking.
Let me make sure I've got this. First, use strict rule evaluation order instead of default action order so your rules process by priority number. Second, set your default action to drop established for production. Third, deploy IPS rules in alert mode first, validate in CloudWatch, then switch to drop.
Perfect. And one pro tip, use rule variables in your Suricata rules. Define home_NANet as your VPC CIDR, like 10.0.0.0 out of 16, and external_NANet as any. This makes your rules portable and easier to audit.
This is way more nuanced than I expected. I'm definitely going back to check my firewall policy settings.
That's it for today's episode. If this saved you from a misconfiguration headache, hit that like button and subscribe for more cloud networking deep dives.
And share this with your team before they make the same mistakes.
Thanks for watching the Network Ninja Cloudcast. See you in the next one.